Hey there, Starshaped here. Just want to make a quick WCA predictions video for the upcoming qualifiers. I did actually play the first qualifier when it happened, but I got home just in time to play it. I got back from vacation. I hadn't warmed up. I was really stressed out. I lost my very first game to just some random undead player. Very, very one-sided game. So that was unfortunate, but I'm really looking forward to the upcoming matches. A lot of good players, a lot of good matches are going to show up for sure. So I guess I'll start with Group A, and I'll do a full prediction. So it'll be a full prediction video where I will not just predict who will qualify or make it out of the groups. I'll actually predict each individual match. So that means both the winners and the losers rounds. So in the Group A we have Hawk, Shadai, Warchief Rich, and Thomas G. Four very strong players. The skill level here is fairly even. Obviously Hawk and Warchief Rich kind of stand out a little bit, but not as much as you might think. For the very first match here, Hawk against Shadai. Shadai, I think, is very underrated. He's really strong, and he's beaten Hawk before. He seems good against Human. He seems comfortable playing for the late game and not kind of trying to end it too early. I've seen him expand, for example, like a Tier 3 expansion. So looking forward to that best of 3 to see who can pull it off, but I'm going to have to give the advantage to Hawk. Obviously, he's one of the best players around, just consistently good. So I predict Hawk will advance to the winners finals of Group A. And in the match, Warchief Rich against Thomas G, I'll probably give that to Warchief Rich as well. Just because they're both very solid standard Night Elf players, but Warchief Rich is just better, I think, in every aspect. But Thomas G certainly shouldn't be counted out. He's been doing really well lately. He's an old school player who kind of made a comeback for the Nations League, where he played for Denmark. Obviously, Denmark had a really nice team with a lot of old school players. So, looking forward to this match, just because I like Thomas G as a player, and obviously, Rich is one of my friends. So, I'm still got to predict Warchief Rich to win it, but we'll probably see a lot of bears against a lot of bears, and I think Rich will just micro those bears a little bit better. Which means for the winners finals, we will have Hawk against Warchief Rich, which is kind of become a classic matchup. I think we've seen them play a lot of best of fives in Gara Cup finals and stuff like that. Slight edge I have to give to Warchief Rich here. I think he's comfortable against Human, especially these days. And Hawk, I think, has never been comfortable against Night Elf. I often see him complaining about Night Elf imbalance and stuff. So just mindset-wise, I think Warchief Rich has the edge. And skill-wise, they're very even. So slight edge to Rich there. I think he'll win the finals and qualify. So that leaves the losers round 1 between Shadai and Thomas G, where I think Thomas G is a bit too solid for Shadai. In my experience, it seems to be like, if the Night Elf is just solid enough, he almost always wins against Undead. Like, it just seems to be a matchup where it's about the Night Elf making mistakes throughout the game. I don't think Thomas G will make a lot of mistakes, but it's going to be an even match. Slight edge to Thomas G there, so I think he'll advance to the losers finals, where he will then meet Hawk. And Hawk against Thomas G is going to be very similar, I think, to Hawk against Warchief Rich, except Thomas G just isn't as good. So I have to give the advantage to Hawk there, especially considering if Hawk loses against Rich, he'll probably be very motivated to really just win against Thomas G and make it out of the groups. So it probably has a bit of extra motivation. But at the same time, Thomas G doesn't really have a lot to lose. He's probably not going to be predicted to win, so he doesn't really have any pressure. Just go in and do your best, really. But still, I have to say that Hawk will probably win that one. So I predict, therefore, that Hawk and Warchief Rich will make it out of Group A. Moving on to Group B here, which is an interesting group. The lineup consisting of Rudan, Juan, Sonic, and Atheist P. Kind of a mixed bag here. Rudan's been gone for a long time. Juan also been gone, I think. I don't think I've seen him playing too much except for like 2 vs 2 with Entei and this qualifier. But he qualified, so good job. Sonic and Atheist, I guess, are the two more active players here. Sonic just being consistently playing, consistently practicing, and just always being a top player. Atheist P not at the same level, I would say, as the other 3 players. but definitely good. I mean, he qualified, so should never count him out. I've played against him quite a few times on the ladder. I've played against all these players quite a few times. They're all very good. So for the Rudan against Juan match, gonna have to give the advantage to Rudan here, assuming he's practicing and warming up for it. Like I said, we haven't really seen him recently, so hard to say really what his shape is like. But if he's in shape, I think he's the better player. But Juan can definitely shake things up. He can definitely upset this this match. So slight favorite to Rudan. I think he'll advance to the winners finals. And Sonic against Atheist P, I'll give a pretty big advantage to Sonic there. He's just a very, like I said, consistent player. He can play a lot of different styles. He's not afraid to mix it up, which is every human player's worst nightmare, is a Night Elf player who can just play anything, like Panda first, or Pit Lord first, or Warden, or Demon Hunter, or Mass Huntresses, or Mass Bears, or Dryads, whatever. Sonic can do everything, and I think it'll be too much for Atheist, which would give us the winners final of Rudan against Sonic, where I think Rudan is very good in Night Elf Mirror, and I don't think Sonic really ever has been that good in that matchup. Comparatively, I mean, obviously he's better than most, but I'll honestly give a slight edge to Rudan here if he's in shape. This is a big if, I really don't know. But if he's in shape, if he's at the level he can be at, I think he will win the Night Elf Mirror here. But it's going to be very close, so it could go either way. But I will predict Rudan to win that match, and therefore qualifying. And then in the losers round 1, Juan against Atheist P, it's also going to be a very nice match, I think. It's going to be close. Those two players are fairly close in skill level, I would say. Depends again on how active Juan has been, how much he's preparing for this. But I will have to give a slight edge to Juan. Just really good micro on that player, and I think that's actually hard to say, honestly. Like they're both good. But yeah, slight edge to Juan. I have to do it. I have to give slight edge to him, and he will then move on to the losers finals, where he will face Sonic. And here, I'll have to declare Sonic as the favorite. He seems to be good against Undead, and again, he's not afraid of doing anything in any matchup really, which is also scary for Undead players. You never know if there's going to be a Warden or a Demon Hunter, or if it's going to be like a Dark Ranger. Is it going to be standard Bears and Dryads? Is it going to be Mass Dryads with expansion or whatever? Sonic, I think, can play anything. So slight edge to a slightly bigger edge for Sonic, but still going to be a close match, I think. But Sonic should win, which would mean that Rudan and Sonic would qualify from Group B. So moving on to Group C, which I have no idea who the mask is. I just want to say that up front. I do not know if that's a Smurf or if it's someone who maybe had an easy group or easy path in the first qualifier, the first part of the qualifier, and just kind of happened to make it out. But I don't know any Belarusian Night Elf players really, so I don't know whose Smurf it will be. He might not even be Belarusian. I don't really know. But assuming he's not a known player, I have to give a huge advantage to Happy here, the old school undead player who is playing a lot of Warcraft recently. Every day he seems to stream for hours, and he's got probably some of the best micro in Europe, despite being inactive for so long. So big advantage to Happy there, assuming the mask isn't some super pro smurfing. In the matchup, Orc Worker against Hate Love Anger, that's going to be a lot of fun. It's always fun watching Hate Love Anger play. We'll see if he has something special planned for Orc Worker. If he doesn't, I think Orc Worker will win, because he's just a very solid Orc player. And Hate Love Anger, we haven't seen him do anything really recently. Not really sure how well prepared he will be, but I'll give it to Orc Worker. Fairly big advantage to Orc Worker, honestly. Like he's just, I think, too good for Hate Love Anger right now. But maybe Hate Love Anger will prove me wrong and have something special planned. But this would then give us the winners finals of Happy against Orc Worker. It's going to be a very even match. I think Happy feels that Orc is his worst matchup, just because he feels Undead is bad against Orc. Whereas I'm pretty sure Orc Worker enjoys the Undead matchup, so Matchup-wise, I think Orkworker has the advantage. Mentality-wise, at least. I think he's also the better player at the moment, even though Happy has a lot of nostalgic value. A lot of people will probably overrate him just because of his name, but slight edge to Orkworker, which would mean that Orkworker would advance, and in the losers round 1, we have the Mask against Hatelovanger, where again I don't know who the Mask is, so I'm going to give it to Hatelovanger, which would give us Hatelovanger against Happy in the losers finals. And I know Undead Mirror is probably Hatelovanger's worst matchup, so if it's Undead Mirror, definitely I'm going to give it to Happy. But hopefully we'll see Hatelovanger going Nidalf against Happy if this matchup happens. He used to play Nidalf quite a bit back in the day against Undead instead of playing Undead Mirror, and he did a lot of really cool unorthodox, like slightly unorthodox styles with like Keeper of the Grove 2nd, Demon Hunter 3rd, a lot of Beastmaster 1st. So that'd be a lot of fun to see if he could cook something up, but I think a lot of Hatelovanger's Nidalf styles relied on the Undead just not playing perfectly, and Happy is not one to make mistakes, so even if Hatelovanger goes Nidalf, I have to give the advantage to Happy, and I think he will advance. Which means that Orkworker and Happy will advance from Group C. Moving on to Group D, the final group, where we have quite a selection of players here. We have Foggy, Cash, Yaws, and Shake. I think the skill level in this group is also a bit kind of imbalanced. The first matchup here, Foggy against Cash. I mean, Foggy obviously one of the, if not the best player in Europe, with a lot of tournament experience recently as well, so I think he's more calm and collected than most other players in this situation. I mean, this is only the group stage of the second part of the qualifier, so I guess there's not a whole lot of pressure yet, but I think he's calm and collected, and he's just very good. Also, kind of like Sonic, he can play anything, he's not afraid to do anything. I think we all remember, even against, it was actually against Cash, when he played Mass Hippogriff Riders on Twisted Meadows in the WCA qualifier last time, and he won it with that strategy. So Cash probably still has some nightmares about that game, and he might be very nervous going into the match. And we haven't seen him a whole lot recently, although he does seem to be up to snuff, just compared, based on his recent performances. So hopefully he'll bring his A game, and we will have a close series, but probably Foggy going to take it. Even if he doesn't do anything strange, his standard talents are just really good as well. And I think just, like, Orc has a really hard time against Mass Talons. You have to play perfectly, I feel, to win that one. And I don't think Cash will do that. So, in the match, Yaws against Shake, it's an interesting matchup. I mean, everyone knows Yaws. He had probably, I'd say, like in all of Warcraft history, I don't think we've ever seen something like what Yaws did at the last WCA. Like, going from the tourist who was just supposed to get knocked out right away, no one really thought anything about him, and then almost winning the entire thing. I don't think there's ever been a similar story in all of Warcraft history, so based on that, I guess he has a lot to prove this next to WCA, so he probably really wants to qualify and get back there and see if he can see if he was just a flash in the pan, or if he can repeat this amazing run. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure exactly how he managed to do what he did last time, or if he can do it again. But Shake, on the other hand, not a lot of people probably know him. I don't really know him too well, but the problem is, like, there's a lot of really strong Eastern European undeads, like Russians and Belarusians and Ukrainians or whatever. So there's like a group of like 4 or 5 really strong undeads who I always mix up. So I'm not entirely sure if Shake is who I think it is, but if it is, he's definitely strong. A bit inconsistent, but he could certainly go far. But I think Yaws will take it. I think Yaws will practice a lot for this match and this qualifier overall. I think when he does, he's good enough to beat most players. Which will give us the winner's final of Foggy against Yaws, where I know Yaws really hates the Nidalf matchup. He thinks it's very imbalanced, I guess. I don't think Foggy has any issues with the matchup. I think Foggy's the better player. Everything kind of points to Foggy winning that one. So I think he will, and he will then qualify. Which would give us the losers round 1 of Cash against Shake. which is going to be a lot of fun. It could go either way, honestly, based on how prepared Cash is. But if he brings his A game, I think he will win. He's just too consistent for a player like Shake, which would give us the losers finals of Cash against Yaz. Another very cool matchup to watch, and hard to predict as well. Like, if Yaz is playing his A game and Cash is playing his A game, it's going to be very even. I think Yaz has a very good matchup against Orc with Bloodmage second. I mean, we all remember the finals last time against Fly and the games before the finals, so he's shown that he can do a lot of cool things against Orc. But I have to give the advantage to Cash. I think he has more motivation. He seems to be playing more recently. I don't know how active Yaz is, or how seriously he really does take this this qualifier. Hard to say, but I'm going to give it to Cash. Slight edge to Cash, which would give us Foggy and Cash advancing from Group D. So that's just my kind of quick analysis, just looking at the player names and based on what I know about them and my own experiences and stuff. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it wasn't too long and rambly, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this. Hopefully, my predictions... Actually, I was going to say hopefully my predictions come true, but hopefully they don't come true because it'd be boring, because then we'd all know exactly what happens. So hopefully none of this comes true and we see a lot of upsets. I should say that this is indeed my predictions of who will win and not who I want to win, because I would love to see some upsets. Like, it'd be cool if like the Mask qualified or whatever, just something crazy like that. But we'll have to wait and see. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll try to stream and stuff. I guess I haven't been around at all for those waiting for me. I'm just super busy, but if I find the time, I'll try to stream as much as I can in the future. So goodbye for now, and thank you for watching.